Hi, I would just like to get your attention, and the camera is not looking well. Okay, I would just like to get your attention to my shirt over here. It's a really nice looking shirt. Do you agree? Yes, look at the design. It is Nicolas Cage. It's basically Nicolas Cage's face on a pickle. And yes, I got this printed on a printing t-shirt shop thing. I don't regret it. So anyway, why did I mention Nicolas Cage on the shirt? Well, it's because it is a great design. You see where I'm going with this? Yes, we're talking about the design that I actually made for the SIP. So yeah, I decided to make an evacuation center, and in regards to the evacuation center, I'm going to be answering a few questions about it. So the first question is, what design can you make that would be significant for the community, either in the 3D printing community or in general? So when we were asked this question for our project in SIP, I had no idea what I wanted to do. At first, I wanted to do something creative, something that was much more spunky, you know, kind of like a spinning chair with just strange designs and twirls. Or maybe I wanted to recreate the Philippine eagle, you know. It looked really cool until I realized just how complicated it was. So I moved on, and then I decided, hey, you know, my grandma needs a wheelchair. So I'm gonna make her a wheelchair that she doesn't have to leave. You know, she's just gonna live the rest of her life in that wheelchair. She's not gonna move away. But then she's in a different container now. We're gonna skip that. Okay, so anyway, thinking about it much more, I decided, hey, what if I make something, maybe like a building, because, you know, buildings are fun and I like designing buildings. And I thought a building that is significant to people, you know, during tragedies, natural disasters, where kids can feel comfortable, well, people will be taken care of. And then I thought, why don't I make an orphanage? But then I decided, you know, like, I asked my mom and she said, that's literally the description for an evacuation center. And I'm like, let's go with that. So anyway, I decided to go for an evacuation center. The second question is, how did I think of this idea? Well, I literally mentioned earlier that I wanted something that could, you know, contribute to the community as a building. And at first it was gonna be an orphanage, but then Mom gave a different idea that was probably better, so I just decided we're gonna go with that. So third question is, what is the connection between your design to the theme of the project? So evacuation centers, they're supposed to be places that are safe and can shelter people either during, after, or maybe before the disaster happens. I've really noticed how in our country, or at least in our region, there's barely any proper evacuation centers. We usually use schools or big establishments, but none really are good for housing people, you know? None of them are really good as proper evacuation centers. And I thought, I want to make something that's at least permanently, and its main use is as an evacuation center. So yeah. And not only is my design kind of just, hey, made evacuation center, boom, whatever you do with it. It's more of, as well, kind of like a call for action for us to, you know, add more proper evacuation centers, places that can be safe for the people, you know. These are very important because I remember during Yolanda, people were evacuated in various schools in Astrodome, but a lot of them were actually killed there because of the sudden flash flood, because of just where it was located and how it just wasn't proper to house people for evacuees. And I don't want to think of another situation like that, you know. I want a place that's actually quite safe for a lot of people. So yeah, that's my answer to the third question. So the last question. So basically I'm going to be explaining the dimensions and parts of my design. So I think right about now you're going to be seeing my screen. So this is basically the script that I've been reading from. So yes, I have 3 different floor projects. So the first is the first floor project, second floor project, and third floor project. So these are all just different projects. So I've had to work on different design files. So on the first floor project, it contains these specific areas. So we have the main evacuation building. Number 1 is the outside staircase where people would be entering, of course. There's also ramps for people to be able to, people who, for example, are in wheelchairs, they'll be able to be brought up there. Second are just the main doors. Third is the hallway. Fourth are the 2 staircases leading to the second floor. Number 5 is the canteen, so it's basically where people are going to be eating, you know. Number 6, public comfort rooms divided into female, male. Number 7 is, well, it's the door leading to the storage building. Number 8 is the serving area where people will be assigned to serve the people who will be eating. Number 9 is the kitchen area where the cooking happens. Number 10 is the clinic. 11 is the room for the elderly and the disabled. I put their room in the first floor because I wanted to be easy access. I wanted to be no more hassle. They'll just go up the stairs or maybe up the ramp and then they'll go inside the room there. Number 12 is the lounge where people can stay there and have a breather or maybe hang out with other people, such like that. So next is the storage building for the first floor project. Storage building, you can see here it's basically empty, but the thing is my plan here is that it's gonna get filled up with objects over time. It is connected to the main evacuation building through a bridge, which is number 1. Number 2 is basically just the doors leading to the main building. Number 3, storage area. Number 4, just the doors that's leading to number 5, the ramp. Okay, moving on to the second floor project, we have these specific areas. So A, the main evacuation building again, and we have here the staircases on both sides again. Second is the hallway. Third are the bedrooms. So at first I had the idea of making them all bunk beds, but I feel like the bed capacity would be too much, so I just set it as just beds, single beds on the floor, and they're all facing against each other. Number 4 are the comfort rooms. So there's the shower rooms for the guys. I'm planning the one on the left is for the guys and the one on the right is for the girls. And yeah, that's the one for the main evacuation building for the second floor. And now we have the storage building rooftop. So as you can see here, it's mostly just dimensions of the rooftop. Lastly, on the third floor project, we have the parts for the main evacuation building. So mostly these are just parts for the main evacuation building. So we have number 1, staircases again. Number 2, hallway. 3, bedrooms again. 4, the comfort rooms. And they're mostly the same kind of arrangements for the second floor. It's just that the main difference here are the rails or the staircases. They're just meant to not lead to any more further floors. And here is the rooftop. So as you can see here, these are the dimensions. So yeah, that's mostly it. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was, although very tiring because I had to use 8 hours a day, and I also decided to work on the weekends because I wanted to at least use some hours on the weekend, so my hours during the next week would be lessened. But although tiring, and although I'd feel lazy working on it, it was very fun in the end, you know? I definitely learned a lot, and I feel like because of this, I definitely gained skills and experience on truly what I want to do in the future, you know? So thank you. This was a very fun project, and I hope it was a similar experience for everyone as well. So yeah, thank you.